what connects all these things, I think, comes down to the fact that people are self-motivated.
Always.
And when you're gonna take it to cities, you want to cooperate with each other. So when it comes down to the COVID thing, you want to cooperate with everybody. The big deal was, if nobody's seen this thing before, and then you find out this coronavirus, nothing new, it comes from this lab.
Well, what do you think?
Then there becomes it. Well, the thing is that there's labs everywhere, and sort of to rule that out immediately. I watched plenty of scientists get on there and speak in terms of biology, how it was not possible that it escaped from a lab. It most likely escaped from a lab.
Yeah.
Since that lab was there. I mean, that's how regular people would think about it. And they want to tell you that, no, that's not possible. It's bat soup, which, unless it's cold soup.
Pangolin soup.
Yeah, unless it's cold soup, it gets, and you have to believe it, because I don't know much about China.
Well, what do you think?
But let me just say that it comes down to you feeling something, believing something, and you sticking to your guns, whether you're on one side or the other. I think that's a positive thing. If you disagree with your local population and they destroy the economy and you were right, that's okay. If you got the shot, but you felt like you shouldn't have, that's something to not sit there and say, I was dumb. That's something to work on.
Yeah.
You shouldn't go out to other people and say, I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have got it. I knew I shouldn't have got it. You should just sit there with it and you just say, you know what?
Never again.
They got me.
Dude, I admired people that took the vaccine. So it's a brave move. I would have never done it.
I don't, dude.
I would have never done it.
It's brave is like,
Brave's like not wearing makeup.
And it's, again, you would think they were brave because, like, why would you think that?
Because it's to me, it's an experimental vaccine that had limited testing.
Okay.
But they think it's saving their life.
Now, why did you think it had limited testing?
Because the Operation Warp Speed, it came out quicker than any other vaccine. Don't vaccines normally get tested for a prolonged amount of time before it's released to the public?
Right. So you looked into that.
Yeah, a little bit,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I talked to people that said it was tested.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I mean, they looked at me like,
it's safe.
You're full of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, no, I didn't get in there and say, hey, they didn't test it enough. I didn't go in there because this person was sure about it. And I had to sit there and say, I remember that they did kind of a test. Maybe, it was. I didn't get in his face about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but then
sure.
I went home and I did look at that and I says, well, good luck to you, man.
Yeah, good luck.
Because no.
I mean, dude, I remember talking to you in the store one day when it was getting real shady and thinking, what if we all have to get these passports? I think they showed their hand that the goal is passport. You got to be ready to die for something, dude.
That's even though that's super, word, like that's super dramatic. There's going to be a time where you're going to have to die for your beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
It's going on right now in these hotspots in the world. It's going on in Syria, where in Lebanon for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's dying for their beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So over here, nobody forced you to get the vax. In this rollout, I saw these people doing this. I saw if you worked for a corporation, they said you can't work here if you don't get it.
That's
you
rough.
can't work here, but that doesn't mean they're forcing you to get it. Other people disagree with me, and I'm taking the legal aspect.
Mm-hmm.
The legal aspect is, and I told my buddy this at the time, which is fun. I was right. I happen to be right, but. This is going to happen. At the end of the day, they're going to say it when it was a choice.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing you always have to realize when people are bearing down on you, to be an independent person, strong on your own.
Yeah.
To sit there and say, something inside me is telling me not to do this. And happily, with your society, just say, well, I'm not so sure.
What if they made you get a
be
vax card to go to the grocery store? They were doing that in malls in California, dude.
Hey, man, I was a local person, shop local, and I had to change that because of what I felt was an extension and overreach. Yeah. And we have a sheriff's department, and there was a couple gyms that opened deep into the pandemic. Whereas I told a friend of mine in Detroit, and that person was fairly upset. But and they did have they were upset because they felt there was a health risk. But I told them that the health board is there. They were taking names, and I signed in. The only difference was you had to have a 30-day. You couldn't do it daily. You had to do a 30-day
month
thing, and your information was down there. And I saw the health board people come in with their clipboards.
Really?
And they came in and they said, "Have you heard anything? Any issues?" No. And I don't know if they took names, but names were registered. And this is a deal people made with the sheriff. This is in Oakland County.
Yeah.
So made a deal with the sheriff saying, we're going to open. We're going to battle this. And the sheriff said, okay. So how does the sheriff override the governor? How does the sheriff override the city? This is the structures we have.
He's taking a big risk.
Is it true, though? Like, legally, can they?
They did it.
Sheriff Bouchard, was it?
No, I don't know the names, but I know I talked to one of the guys that runs one of the gyms, and he was the first to open. And his deal was, it came to him in a dream, and he trusted Jesus. He told me this outright. He says, just because I believe in resurrection. So this is a way of saying I believe in something inside me. Or whether you think it's coming from somewhere else or it's just you're not going down like this.
Yeah.
So he talks to the sheriff, not in a way of, you gotta let me open because I'm going to do something. He comes to the sheriff and like a community person.
Yeah.
And the sheriff does a community thing and says, okay, this defied everything going on in the state. So like I said, when I told somebody about this, they did have a concern about the health, but then they went into gear about the defiant and how that was not fair. Then their temperature raised just a little more, and they were not a bad person in any way. But
we're gonna get
that's cool. So you just again, everything revolves around you. What your beliefs are, what you think is going on in the world, and if you trust an authority about telling you anything, or do you sit there and say, "Help me understand"? If you get shouted down, forced down, and a person's starting to emotionally lose their cool, you don't have to sit there and say checkmate.
Yeah, don't bend to their will.
You don't have to sit there and say checkmate, but you can if you want, because it's true. If you lose your cool and somebody says, "I'm not talking to you anymore, you're too stupid," when they've described absolutely nothing, it's checkmate. But we're all still friends.
We're always doing something wrong in somebody else's eyes. You know what I mean? We go 5 miles over the speed limit. You're doing something wrong. You didn't take the vaccine. You did something wrong. So there's always people that are going to judge you for your personal decisions. But
and we do need to move on before we get 2 views from all the COVID stuff.
Yeah, I know. They'll blacklist us on
for
YouTube
sure. But one thing, I agree. Dude, a lot of people come to the store and they go, "What do you think about Ozempic? What do you think about these weight loss shots? What do you think about this?" And to me, those are the people that got the vax. Instead of me losing weight, instead of me changing my diet, instead of me getting outside and doing something, I want daddy to give me something that'll make me safe, make me skinny. Yeah. People want now, dude. No one wants to go. When people talk about Ozempic, people go, "Hey, what do you think about keto? What do you think about this diet?" When you ask someone how they lost weight, what do they say, dude? "I stopped drinking pop and I start exercising, start eating better." That's it. You know what I mean? They got these fat idiots online injecting themselves every day, and they're selling it to you. There's no easy fix. There's a consequence for that.
You think the Ozempic people are the same people that got the vaccine?
Oh, dude, the Ozempic's crazy right now. People are dying, dude.
So people can be distraught.
You think it's funny, dude?
People can be distraught about a lot of things in their life. where they have a weakness. It could be gorging.
If you're overweight, you are weak because you are lacking discipline.
They would tell you that. If they're gorging, if you have a thyroid issue and other things are going on, that's another issue.
Yeah,
if you're not
sure.
gorging, okay, but if you are, and it's a self-control issue, there's a narrative in your head of a story you've been telling yourself, and that's why you could make easily six figures telling people to think positively.
Yeah.
Because it's not, because you're a sovereign person. No matter what's going on in the world, you're having a conversation with yourself. Somebody shouts you down, well, I better listen, you know? And I've known people that have gotten, whether it's bariatric surgery or all these things going on, but they were at their wits' end. Mm-hmm. They couldn't, and they were health people. They were built. They were
built?
Yes.
And then just got,
and they went,
they just ate themselves into the club.
And there's, people are going to have things go on in their lives where, just to make a blanket statement, things aren't going well, and this is a panacea on what's going on. Again, the people that are in your face about these issues is coming from the screen, and there's a bunch of people making money on this. They're the ones shouting this to you. Yeah. If somebody goes to their doctor and says, I think I want to get bariatric surgery, they're not telling you that. That's personal business. Man. Yeah. You know, you don't even know about it. I mean, it should be that you walk into or you happen to talk to a doctor at a cocktail party, and he talks about how many bariatric surgeries do. The rest of it is the advertising for all medical operations. Huge money.
You know,
so really, it's not. It's only in your face from advertising.
Yeah, that surgery is not a permanent solution. I know a handful of people that got that surgery that were teetering around 400 pounds, some 500 pounds. Don't be wrong, they lost some weight. They lost 100, 200 pounds.
I've seen people lose a lot of weight on it.
They gained it all back 3 years later.
Yeah.
And
how did they gain the weight? It's just self-control. I know it's things happen.
Stomach's elastic then, right? If you're getting it.
Dude.
But
how hard is it to eat right now when you're getting lack of sleep? You got a little baby at home. It's hard.
It's a mental thing.
It's mental.
You know when I gained the most weight? I suffered 2 concussions in less than 9 months. I was knocked out cold. One from a biking, like I was trying to do a catwalk, and another time, my girlfriend, and then another time, me falling off, me slamming into the pavement, playing basketball. 2 times knocked out cold in less than a year. I gained.
You were cold in both of them, the basketball one too.
Yeah, I was so depressed recovering from those knockouts, and I gained 60 pounds.
From just overeating, just laying around?
Just being depressed and using food as a...
So when you did that, what narrative are you telling yourself? This has happened to me, like it could possibly, but you tell me, but it could possibly be, I'll never be my old self. I'm losing ground.
I think it's just tired, easy, and late. Like when you eat like crap, you're usually just tired, so you're just eating. Like, I don't think, I mean, I'm not like, dude, I've been through binges or whatever. You're just like, F it, man.
I don't think I was conscious enough of what I was doing. I think I was so depressed recovering from those concussions that eating was my way of coping.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know.
This is exactly, you know, if somebody's doing drugs, big time drugs, you know, if you ever, in all of your travels and whatever, I know for me, personal experience, you sit next to somebody who's chasing the dragon at a job, smoking heroin, and you get a whiff of that, and they're always telling you like, "Never get into this, dude. Never get." You know, it's like you know, it's already too complicated, you know. But when the whiff of this stuff hits your nose, I gotta think that that's what it's like to hit that.
Yeah,
it made me absolutely numb. Like, I'm looking at you, feeling nothing. And my opinion on that was like, this thing shuts down that conversation.
Yeah.
You're no longer,
you don't have
the concussion as part of life. Mm-hmm. You know, you're like this. You're not grabbing these issues and saying, like, I had a hip operation. It was just a total, I couldn't understand why I had a messed up hip. It made no sense to me. Does now, but at the time, a lot of anger and a lot of hard work. My thing is I'm going to fix this. I'm not going to go under the knife. And I did. And I had doctors saying, the doctors were like going, I've seen people do this. You got the energy. You could do it. You know, half dumb, half positive. You know, it wasn't until I saw that surgery, that doctor at another event, and he came up. I was limping in, having a particularly bad day, and in my head, it's just like, I'm just having a bad day. I worked it out too much. He came up to me, he says, you still got that thing? You got to get that fixed. That's going on too long because different compensations are happening. Long story short, that I did it on my terms. We could talk about this medical establishment thing. They didn't push me, you know, and it was money for everybody. They didn't really push me, but some people get pushed. There's bad actors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You tried everything. But you also tried to solve it on your own.
But you're the point of responsibility. And if everybody had that point of responsibility, people would not get away with half the things they do in the world. You know, if you sell yourself out, if you do things you don't want to do for money, somebody's got you blackmailed. You know, you make a decision. Do I let the bad stuff get out? Some guy cheats on his wife or whatever, and he's being blackmailed by somebody else. You know, come to terms. Just be honest. What happens is it might wreck you financially, but there's a psychological aspect to it. But everybody makes their own decisions. I wouldn't sit there and say, you have to not be blackmailed.
Yeah.
I just don't complain.
I just think waking up from a concussion changes my it changed like my hormone production. I think my testosterone was shut down.
Yeah, when you gain weight too, dude. Yeah.
But I see you just pulled up some finance stuff here.
Dude. Crypto is booming right now, man.
So I'll tell you this Bitcoin thing. I followed it, and this is a lesson to people. Always get into stuff. Because I followed this thing when it was launched.
Bitcoin?
And I didn't know about computers, kind of a Luddite with the tech. So didn't get into it. And obviously it was the move of a lifetime. So what's happening though is in this war situation, this is a perfect currency to be funding your terrorists.
Yeah. Was Bitcoin launched during the Iraq war? Afghanistan war? Bitcoin? There were bull runs during the Iraq war, right?
Yeah, probably $300-400, but yeah. I think Bitcoin was like 2008.
It's a double-edged sword as to when I would hear people saying this is going to be the world peace thing. And that's why I didn't get into it. Because it's not
Bitcoin?
to fit honest money. You know what I mean? There's going to be honest money. Well, there's probably things I don't know about it that may make this not true, but I just see it as non-traceable money. You know what I mean? And with all currencies and with all these kinds of situations, they're all fake, but there's an army defending it. And they make the rules as to what you use and what you don't use. So as much as in the US, we had this big digital scare, there's a Chinese digital currency. There's a Russia digital currency. Guess what? Nobody's forcing you to use it. Over here, the big thing was we're going digital. It's going to be a U.S. digital currency, and everybody's going to go on it.
So
this is the authoritarian country.
So I think things are going to get so bad and already so tough financially that they're going to hand out universal basic income in the form of U.S. currency. So to get it, you're going to have to sign up to get it from the government in the U.S. digital currency, the banking currency. Everyone will run to it because, hey, they're sending, mommy and dad are sending me $1,000 a month, a little stipend, but you got to download this app.
That's the digital stamp.
And it'll work, and it'll work, but you don't see other countries rolling their digital currencies out like. It's like MasterCard, Visa, digital currency, ruble, or what's the Chinese thing? There's the yen and the renminbi, whatever it is. But it's just like, it's just another option for them.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Whereas over here, the big scare was they're going to take away the dollar. You know,
is that gone?
Well, I don't know. This country's free speech.
Yeah.
Well, so you can be as you can say the most fascistic things, allegedly. And this is again with the sovereign citizen thing. It just comes down to you saying, "Don't get worried. If you, we'll just see how that's going to go."
Yeah.
I don't like the idea, but am I going to refuse it if push comes to shove? It's kind of like, it just depends what the community's going to do.
I believe though, if Elon didn't buy Twitter, we wouldn't have free speech anymore, dude. Because you speak online more than, that's where your voice is.
Yeah, no, free speech has been there. It's like,
dude,
the Elon thing and the Tucker Carlson thing is, these are people that had you pay them, if you pay them to say something but not expose other things, they'll do it. When those people dump them, then they get real altruistic, and all of a sudden they're talking the truth. Megyn Kelly was the same way. You know, if the network hires you to be a hit person, you're going to be a hit person. Once they fire you, well, the internet can allow you to make your own thing, but now all of a sudden you're on the side of the people.
Yeah.
So free speech isn't free. Elon Musk had to pay a hefty amount for free.
And I think he didn't do. Dude, Elon Musk was the paperboy of America's. You know, all these EV losers in Cali, like that's the move. And now they hate him.
I have a
just
Tesla.
because I know.
I don't.
Now
think,
they hate him because he just wanted you to be able to speak.
But that's the message on the screen. There's the fanboy thing for Elon. If it was waning with Tesla, it picked up with Twitter. Oh, and what he's done is he's shifted over there. This guy's got constant failed projects, constant promises that have not been kept.
Yeah.
There's nothing new about electric cars.
No.
Absolutely not.
But he does make the best ones.
But see, you know, we can compare this to Bitcoin a bit. Your projection for battery quality is based on the fact that when you invented this, you used a lithium battery and it did this. So all they're doing is saying, well, in 10 years, we'll do this. With what?
It's the same source of energy.
With lithium?
Well, they're all rolling back. A lot of the people, the 2030 carbon neutral agenda is like, no, we still need oil.
But thing is if you want to be happy, you would buy this stock and you would get out in time. Because
it's pretty low right now, too.
Bitcoin?
Well, no, sorry, Tesla. You talking about Bitcoin?
Yeah, but this is the switch into the information network, which is the Twitter and stuff. This is to get out of that whole thing. Right now, there's some car he's doing it. He's calling it a partnership between Tesla and SpaceX.
What, the Plaid or something?
Well, it's just, you're going to make a sports car with SpaceX technology. Where's the basically
maybe Mars has the resources he needs.
How Americans can have fun with all this, like I should have done with Bitcoin, was to get into it, even though I didn't know anything about computers. Go learn. And when it comes to the electric cars, look what's happening. If it's a fraud, are people going to jump in?
Well, if you want to get into Bitcoin, Steve, but you don't have $50,000, look at this stock.
It's yeah. I was,
this is BTCS.
Using math. I hear people are saying 48 billion, 100 billion, all this kind of thing.
Look at this.
The fact that this could be, because I also see people saying how when times are tough, let's say we're calling the self-centered or evil, whatever word you want to use, parts of the government, the squid. I use the squid as a way to talk about this thing, and they want to fund terrorists. If they dump money into Bitcoin and the value raises, it's now very easy for them to fund a lot of these different projects. I can pay some mercenaries on the Sahel, which is this line in Africa between the forces.
Quick question.
You get the idea.
Jeff Bezos just sold billions of dollars worth of stock. Multiple billionaires just liquidated a lot of their positions and made a lot of money off the stock market. Is it possible they're preparing for the next crypto bull run? The next halving is in less than 2 months. They know Bitcoin's about to be more scarce. Is this where they're putting their money? Or are they investing in other projects?
Hey, man.
I think they're going Web3, which is all this crap.
Hey, if somebody sells their positions, they're getting into a different one because, the best person to be watching it, one of the best persons, Nancy Pelosi. and I don't blame her.
You can see what they buy. It's public. I can't find it.
It's public. No, it's on.
But you can see her shorts and stuff.
It's on Instagram.
Isn't that crazy?
What is it called? The Pelosi tracker?
You can literally see what they're doing. Like they have to disclose it.
Yeah.
But you got to work for it.
But and there's people that also Seeking Alpha is a website that does a lot of really good analysis, but also takes into effect this get in, get out idea. Whereas
so we found a Nancy Pelosi tracker. It's called Quiver Quantitative. Estimated net worth $189 million. Nancy Pelosi's estimated net worth is $189 million. And
see, there's a way though to see the literal positions. Like people seen her positions on. Look at this. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. And there's nothing.
Palo Alto Networks. That's
the latest.
$1 million in Nvidia. Dude.
She lives in Palo Alto, doesn't she? Or she's somewhere in this community, San Francisco. Yeah. Oh, look, she capitalized on Nvidia.
That was 2 months ago.
Did you guys see that Nvidia?
Here's the thing. In 2015, both Nvidia and AMD were big stock picks. If you knew nothing and you were just visiting the Seeking Alpha website, these were big picks back then. And you'd have done really well. And this is like, nothing. Who are you talking to? For free.
I mean, 8 years is a long time for idiots to wait, though, man. People have no patience.
Well,
we've been waiting.
Then follow Nancy because you can. But the thing is you have to be willing to take 2x.
Yeah. Or
these kinds of margins instead of looking at these next big things and trying to 10x. Yeah. You have to sit there and say, if I've got $1,000. It's doing nothing. Get rid of it, stick it somewhere, and hope for the best.
Look at this,
dude. She's all tech stocks. Disney. She sold Disney.
So I bet you it won't. I bet you it won't tell after they buy crypto.
You know what? Was this when they fired Gina Carano? You remember Gina Carano? She spoke about. She had like some right-wing ideologies, and then Disney's stock plummeted because they fired Gina Carano just for speaking her mind.
Isn't that like a UFC fighter, dude?
Yeah, she was she was the original UFC like female star that they wanted to promote.
The stock on do you buy any right now, Steve? Are you holding?
Holding.
Look at this stock, dude. Me and I were looking at it. We got like 5 minutes. There's a stock called BTCS, which is a publicly traded thing. It's not a crypto, it's a mining thing. Oh. Look at the 1 year.
What was the company?
BTCS, they mine.
They're mining? Yeah, that's not.
But dude, look, the last bull run, Steve, it got up to, this is $31. It's $1.20.
When was that?
4 years ago.
21, the height of the bull.
3 years ago.
Yeah, that's
a 20x. I know. It's $1.50, dude. So look at it all time. Look at the first bull run.
But overvalued. But see, overvalued. It's like the Twitter, same thing.
You wouldn't buy this for $1.60 right now?
Well, Elon bought Twitter at that same height.
My concern is it's trending downwards each bull run.
Well, true, but for goodness sake, dude, if I can get it to $20 again.
Even half of that green candle.
See, you can't look at it that way. Here's the thing. This is what I did with Theta, right? Is that the Theta there was this big buzz with it, and I was listening, and of course, being the Luddite, I was listening, trying to do this, and I actually had a misconception about the company. I thought it was going to be the new YouTube. It's not. It's a platform that if you want to be the new YouTube, you could be on their platform. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is Web3.
It's Web3. They're calling it Web3, which just means that. Oh, it's hard to say what that means.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like but put it this way: I bought in at 50 cents. It went up to 14, and it went back to $1 before.
What's it at right now?
I went to sell it. It's not worth 14. It's worth $1. So if you bought in at a penny or 5 cents, and I did see a guy on YouTube, he valued it at $1. He sold at $1. The fact that it went to 14, he didn't let it bother him because he said he valued the company himself. I never did that. It was this hold for dear life idea, which isn't all the professional investors must have laughed at people who fell for that hold on.
Did
Did
they change their mission? I thought Theta's mission was to provide internet every square foot in the world.
It's a serious company. It's like I applaud these people. These people are like my favorite people. I would have loved to sell at 14 and bought more. But they're real smart because they give you like a dividend in form of their own, stocks to hold and be the person that holds and not put them through the chaos of the markets. So you get a residual thing.
Go to CoinDesk.
But the best thing to do is if you love the company is to sell at 14 and get out but that's if you know what the company's valued at.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to value a company. This is but what you should not do is not play. If you get in the game and you lose, that's okay, man. If you don't do anything.
Yeah, that's the ultimate
I
loss.
think that you miss out. I think that's like sitting against the wall at a high school dance.
Yeah. I could have, should have,
I
would
think you should be in this kind of stuff because it's interesting to know about companies.
They did not work.
No, I tried CoinDesk. CoinDesk, is it .com?
Just go to go to the first one, and then go up, search
Theta.
Type Theta, it'll pop up. I'm gonna say it's $1. Roll down.
Theta's $1 right now?
I'm gonna say.
Where is my cursor?
It's between 1 and 2.
Dude, where?
You're over there.
Oh, okay.
$1.90, Steve.
Yeah.
$1.90
Dude,
for
you still
Theta.
Freaking.
You're in the green. So drinks on you tonight?
No, I've just, after 14, I'm not excited.
After $14?
But you bought at 15 cents?
At 50 cents.
50 cents.
So you're 4x almost right now?
Okay.
Yeah, and that's really just, and the thing is,
he's doing better than us.
If I thought something was even better, then I would move it.
If it goes to $5, are you getting
that thing, man? I just dig that company. I just like what they're doing. They let you know what's going on. What they don't do is hype.
Yeah.
It could be a great
That's what I
long-term
don't like
goal,
about
man.
XRP, man. You get all these influencers getting on the internet and they're hyping Ripple and XRP, and they
I'm
make
sure
all these.
there's people on YouTube on Theta doing the same thing.
Not as
There's
much
always
as
cool.
XRP.
There's Theta fanboys for sure. Yeah. But you see if you can watch the videos for longer than 2 minutes because there's not much to say because there's no controversy.
Gotcha.
They just partnered with Sony.
Did they really?
Well, if they did, what about it?
No, that's what, remember when you like, hey, XRP got adopted by Coca-Cola, Bank of America, nothing.
Yeah. Zero price movement.
We're holding the bag.
Those are the day traders just jumping on there looking at the candles.
Yeah. Well, that wraps it up for today, Steve. We still got a lot more to get into another day.
Yeah, I think the moral of the story is social media is fake. So be the sovereign citizen.
That's right.
Be ready to die for something.
Listen to us and just say, can't really agree with that guy until I hear him out more.
I know several.
But he's part of the community.
Several lawyers, sovereign citizens are like the worst people in the courtroom. Like they just feel like they have no like.
What's a sovereign citizen?
They just claim they're a sovereign citizen. They don't need to abide by the municipalities' rules.
Yeah, so that's not what I mean. It's if you get into court, if you walk down a dark alley in a real bad part of town, the ideal thing is not to be there. You don't want to wind up in court.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolute shark's den. It might go really good for you. I'm not in court very much. The last time I was in court was at the 36th District Court.
A good court.
And is it? I guess it can be. It's but if you
when you punch that old lady?
No, it was